Why did the nail technician call the police after seeing what was hidden under my gel manicure? I was getting my regular monthly mani at this local place where I'd been going for like 2 years. Nothing fancy, just this little shop run by this older lady named Grace who always remembered my usual color. But this time was different because Grace wasn't there, and her replacement was this young girl who looked maybe 19. She seemed nervous from the start, kept dropping things and apologizing. When she started removing my old polish, I noticed she was being super careful, almost like she was scared to mess up. I just figured she was new and didn't want to get in trouble with the boss. But then when she got to my ring finger, she stopped completely, just froze with the acetone-soaked cotton pad in her hand, staring at my nail like she'd seen a ghost. I asked if everything was okay, but she just mumbled something about needing better lighting and moved closer to the lamp. That's when I saw her face go completely white. She was looking at this tiny dark spot under my gel that I'd noticed a few weeks ago, but honestly forgot about. It was just this little black dot, maybe the size of a pinhead, right under the polish on my nail bed. She put down the cotton pad and asked really quietly if I'd noticed any changes in that spot. When I told her it had been there for a while, she got this weird expression and said she needed to get something from the back room. But instead of coming back with supplies, she came back with her phone. She showed me a picture on her screen of a nail that looked exactly like mine, except the black spot was way bigger. Then she scrolled to another photo and another, each one worse than the last. That's when she told me she'd just finished beauty school, and they'd spent a whole week learning about melanoma warning signs. I felt my stomach drop. I'd been ignoring this stupid little spot for months, thinking it was just some weird bruise or maybe leftover polish that didn't come off properly. But she was telling me it could be skin cancer, and a pretty aggressive kind at that. She said she couldn't in good conscience just polish over it without saying something. Then she asked if I had a family doctor, and when I said no, she pulled out her phone again and started calling around to dermatology offices. Most places had waiting lists that were months long, but she kept calling. Finally, she got someone on the phone who agreed to squeeze me in that afternoon if it was urgent. The nail tech literally drove me there herself after closing up the salon early. The dermatologist took one look and immediately did a biopsy. 3 days later, they called with results that made my hands shake so bad I dropped the phone. Stage 2 melanoma. If I'd waited even a few more months, it could have spread to my lymph nodes. I had surgery the next week to remove a chunk of my finger and some surrounding tissue. It wasn't pretty, but they got it all. The doctor said catching it that early probably saved my life, maybe literally. But here's where it gets weird. When I went back to thank the nail tech, Grace told me the girl had quit the day after she took me to the doctor. Apparently, she'd gotten so freaked out by the whole thing that she decided beauty school wasn't for her. Grace gave me her number though, and when I called to thank her, she told me she'd been having nightmares about what would have happened if she'd just painted over my nail like normal. She said she almost did, but something her instructor said about always putting client safety first kept echoing in her head. The crazy part is, she never actually called the police like I said in the title, but she did call every medical contact she had until someone agreed to see me immediately.